Before you put money into cryptocurrency, nothing looked clearly wrong. The website looked professional. There were good reviews, believable testimonials, and screenshots of other people's gains. When you had a question, someone on the platform answered. And when your balance went up for 3 weeks, you didn't think it was a scam. You thought you'd finally found something that worked. Then one morning, the dashboard won't load. You try again. The support chat goes quiet. The website is gone. You hit refresh over and over. And then it hits you. The money is gone. Whoever took it has already moved it, cashed out, and vanished. You can't see where it went. But here is what is really happening. Cryptocurrency doesn't just disappear when a website goes offline. When you sent that transaction, it was recorded on a blockchain. The funds can move. They can be split across wallets, cross blockchains, and pass through exchanges and other services. But moving cryptocurrency does not erase the original transaction history. The record of that first transfer still exists, and it could be the start of a much bigger trail. You think it's been weeks, maybe months. You figure it's probably too late. Here's what's really happening. Public blockchain records don't expire just because no one looked at them right away. When an investigator checks your original transaction, the history is still there. And even if you assume nothing can be done, the funds may have kept moving. Each transaction can add more clues. Another wallet, another link, another interaction with the wider financial system. You think, they probably cashed everything out right away. Here's what's really happening. Fraud money does not always go straight into someone's bank account. The funds may split across many addresses. They may mix with money from other victims. They may go through middleman wallets, jump between blockchains, sit idle, or later go to exchanges and other services. None of this automatically shows who did it, but each movement can add clues to the investigation. Investigators aren't just looking at one transaction, they're looking for patterns. You think anyone can make another wallet. How can anonymous addresses tell us anything? Here's what's really happening. A wallet address can be a useful place to start an investigation. Its history may show where money came from, where it went next, which services it touched, and how it links to other activity. Investigators follow those transactions. They watch which wallets talk to each other again and again. They see where money is gathered, whether several victims paid into the same set of addresses, whether the same wallets, services, or systems show up in other fraud cases, and where the funds touch services that might have customer data. Over time, single transactions can start to show something bigger, a cluster, a network, an operation. Sometimes victims who thought their cases were separate are actually linked by the same financial setup. You think, even if someone traces the money, it's still just numbers on a screen. Here's what's really happening. At some point, criminals often use systems they don't control. A cryptocurrency exchange, a payment service, a bank account, a money mule, an intermediary. If funds reach a regulated exchange, the receiving account may link to ID documents, login records, withdrawal details, IP logs, device info, or other records the platform keeps. That information isn't automatically available to a private investigator. Getting it may need the exchange's help, legal steps, or law enforcement. But blockchain tracing can show where investigators should look next. Which services got the funds, which transactions matter, and which places might have information or be willing to help with an investigation. The anonymous wallet becomes an investigative lead. That difference matters. You think, if the money can be traced, does that mean I will get it back? Tracing is not the same as recovery. Finding where funds moved doesn't mean they can be frozen, seized, or returned right away. The account getting the funds might belong to a middle person, not the person running the scam. Investigators may find where the money went without immediately knowing who controls it. And tracing by itself does not give a private investigator the legal power to freeze, seize, or return assets. That takes enough evidence and action from exchanges, banks, law enforcement, courts, or other authorities. But tracing builds the foundation for that process. It can show where funds moved, which wallets were involved, which services they hit, and where more investigation might be possible. Recovery depends on what the investigation finds and whether the evidence can lead to real action. There are no guarantees. But there is a big difference between not knowing where the money went and having a documented trail that shows how the funds moved and which services might have useful information. That's what blockchain tracing can do. It can turn one transaction into a trail into a network, and a network into evidence that can be saved, organized, and possibly used in an investigation. So if you are staring at a zero balance, a support agent who no longer answers, and a website that vanished, don't assume the story ended when the platform went offline. Save everything. Save the website address. Save screenshots. Export chats. Write down every wallet address and transaction hash. Keep bank statements, exchange receipts, emails, phone numbers, and payment records. And do not send more money because someone says you must pay a tax, withdrawal fee, insurance deposit, legal charge, or blockchain unlocking fee to get your funds back. The website may be gone. The people may stop answering. The balance on your screen may be gone. But the movement of cryptocurrency left a trail that can be examined, documented, connected to other activity, and may be turned into evidence that investigators, exchanges, banks, lawyers, or police can act on. The story doesn't always end when the website disappears. What happens next depends on the evidence you saved and whether the trail is followed the right way. If you have experienced cryptocurrency fraud and want to learn what investigative options may be available, visit Verihound.com.